Here is my little plant shelf. We got this little plant shelf at IKEA and I absolutely love it because it just kind of blends in with my aesthetic and I just love it. And it also is small enough where I won't go overboard with the plants. This plant is doing very well. We bought this at IKEA a while ago, a couple months now, and it's really grown. This plant is actually Adam's, and it used to be in that little Groot head planter that used to sit up here on my half wall. And I accidentally killed it by chopping it off completely. Long story, it was going back to college and I went to shut the console and it chopped it off because it was like sitting next to the console. Anyway, I was mortified. I brought it home thinking I'm just going to replace it, and I ended up nursing it back to health and it's never looked better. We put it in a bigger pot and it's doing great. This plant I have probably had most of my married life. And what happens is it gets really long and trendly and then it gets leggy. And I don't like when it gets leggy, so I cut it back. And I did that recently. I cut it back and it was one leaf. So it is coming back nicely. And I did take one of the things and rooted it. I need to get this planted. I just have not made the time for it yet. But I need to do that. And then the other day a neighbor gave me this spider plant and it is already rooting. So I'm going to wait till they get a little bit stronger and then get that in a pot also. I love IKEA pots. So I'd like to take a ride over to IKEA maybe. And I think instead of just buying one at a time, I'll get a couple and put them away. And then that way, if I get any more plants, I'll be ready. This was a Goodwill find, and I love the planter, but it does leak a little bit. So that's why I have the towel under it. This is an IKEA pot. It's just like plastic. And this is an IKEA pot. I really like this one. It's metal, but in the bottom, it has a little round thing. So it doesn't sit, like I don't have to put marbles or anything in the bottom of it. It lets the water drain better is what I'm trying to say. So that's a Tuesday chore, is watering the plants. Okay, breakfast this morning is 2 scrambled eggs and a 1/4 cup of leftover cream chipped beef. Okay, I thought I turned the camera on, but didn't. I brought you down the basement with me. I was refilling all of our food grade buckets. We purchased about 80 pounds of flour, and I was just getting that out of the freezer because it was in the freezer, just to make sure if anything was in there, it was dead. I was getting that in the food grade buckets. I was refilling my flour, which I didn't do a great job, look at that, and refilling my sugar and all that, and I thought I had the camera running and I didn't, but I was dumping bags into buckets. There you go. So now I just want to feed my sourdough. So I weigh my sourdough and the container. It's 1,975 grams. I know that this empty container weighs 1,475 grams. I know that because I weighed it and I keep a list of how much things weigh. Kim, over at Girl on Her Phone, taught me that. So now I'm just going to feed my starter. I'm going to minus it. So I have 500 grams of starter in there. I'm trying to decide if I want to feed all 500 grams or if I want to take some discard out. I don't think I want to feed this much. So I think I'm going to take out about 200 grams of discard. I'm going to toss it in the fridge because I believe tomorrow I'm going to be making some sourdough discard chocolate chip cookies. So let's get working on that. I forgot to mention this sourdough starter was in the fridge. I had it just resting. So I'm just going to take it and put 200 grams right in this bowl. And that is darn close. I'm back down to 1783. I'm not worrying about it getting it too close. And there's somebody walking down the street. Okay, so I have my 300 grams of starter in there and 200 grams in this bowl. I'm just going to cover this and throw it in the fridge and use that tomorrow to bake with as discard. Discard just means it is not active and bubbly. See, like this just looks like dough. But when sourdough is active and bubbly after it's been fed and things, it actually, it rises. This will like double or triple in size and it gets very bubbly. I'm actually not going to feed it now because I did just take it out of the fridge. And I'm really not sure if there's a hard and fast rule, but I like to let mine room up to warm temperature before I feed it. So I'm just going to toss the lid on it and leave it sit on the counter. And at some point today, when I'm walking past or whatever, I will feed it. And I just know to feed it 300 grams of flour. And a lot of people feed 1-to-1. Like 300 grams of flour and 300 grams of water. I don't. I like a nice thick starter. So I'll feed 300 grams of flour, but probably only about, I don't know, 220 grams of water. It depends. I kind of go by feel these days. So another thing checked off the list. One other sourdough thing, just in case you're ever thinking about doing it. When I say discard, you can throw it away. You can use it for something else, whatever. But if you are discarding, like throwing away any of your sourdough, do not throw it in the sink. Do not put it down your drain because it is like cement and it will screw up your pipes. Luckily, I've never done that because I did know, but a lot of people don't know just starting out. So if you're going to discard in the trash can, not in your sink. Okay, breakfast this morning is 2 scrambled eggs and a 1/4 cup of leftover cream chipped beef. Just got some great news. I'm trying to keep the baby out of the shot. As you can see, she's in the sling because won't let me put her down. And this is all new. Will not let me put her down and will not nap. She is exhausted. But I just got some fantastic news. Jack's coming today. I am so excited. I had texted Tab this morning and I said, hey, I need to get these roosters to you because Tab's taking our roosters. And she's like, hey, do you want Jack? She goes, he said he was sick this morning, so I let him stay home. And 2 minutes after the bus left, he's running around like a madman. He's not sick. She said, do you want him? I'm like, heck yeah, I do. And that way she'll pick up the roosters when she picks him up. So I am beyond excited. He is beyond excited. He's running around the house. I'm going to Joni's. I'm going to Joni's. So very excited. So yeah, but I am just trying to, the baby was sitting playing really nicely at my feet. So I started packaging up some meat. We have some thick cut pork chops, some eye roasts. And I started packaging those up, but then the minute I got the machine out, she started. So right now I have her in the sling. I'm just going to try to get this one last package done and see if I can get her to go to sleep because she's exhausted. Her eyes are red. She's rubbing them, but man, she is fighting it. There he is, my best buddy. And of course, because, you know, when he gets here, he eats breakfast. He had to eat a second breakfast. He's already eaten. It is already, 10:30, but he had to eat a second breakfast. So while he's eating that and I got the baby down for a nap, I am just going to feed my sourdough starter, give it the 300 grams of flour and the 200 and some grams of water. Okay, there it is. I like a nice thick starter, so that's how I make mine, that consistency. Now we'll just let it go and it'll do its thing. And just as I got done this, the baby woke up. I got about a half hour out of her. So I am hoping if everyone naps for me today, I know, pipe dream. This is what I'm going to work on during nap time. Andrew asked for a Tres Leches cake for his birthday, and I've never made one. This one looks super duper easy. So I am going to make this at nap time because it does say if you make it a day or two in advance, it's even better. And we won't be eating this until tomorrow night. So I'm going to hopefully get this done, we'll see, today during nap time. And if so, I'll bring you along. Okay, everybody's napping for now, so I want to get this cake made. So, we are making the Tres Leches cake, and the website that I got it from is tastebetterfromscratch.com. It looks super duper easy. For equipment, we need a 9x13 metal pan, and I am using my Magic Line pan, which I absolutely love. I like it because it has square corners. I know that's crazy, but that's why I like it. And let's get started. So in this bowl, I was just trying to expedite things because I don't know how long I'm gonna have, so you don't need to see me measure anyway. We have 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're just gonna give that a quick mix. Then in these 2 bowls, we have 5 eggs separated. We've got our whites and we've got our yolks. The first thing we're gonna do is our yolks. And with the yolks, we are going to add 3/4 cup of sugar. Now, if you need 1 cup of sugar total, divide it. You need 3/4 cup of sugar for the yolks. Then you need 1/4 cup of sugar for the egg whites. You can see a difference in my sugar. This is the sugar we use all the time, every day. It's organic cane sugar, and it has a browner texture and a little bit of a thicker texture, a grittier texture, more coarse. This is like regular Domino sugar. You can see how white it is and how fine it is. I find it best to use this when I do egg whites. Sometimes this is hard to get it incorporated, especially when I use my hand mixer and not my stand mixer, which we're using the hand mixer today, just because. So I've got my egg yolks in a bowl, and I'm gonna add 3/4 cup of sugar. Then we are gonna beat this with the hand mixer for several minutes until the yolks are light yellow and pale. Okay, they are done. They are nice and pale yellow. I'm just gonna set those aside. Then what we're gonna do is we are going to pour our egg yolk mixture over our flour mixture, and we're going to stir gently to combine. We do not want to overmix this. There is no fat in this cake, if you've noticed. It's almost, but not really, like an angel food cake. All the fat is going to come from the 3 milks. That's what Tres Leches stands for, in case you don't know. It stands for 3 milks. It is a Mexican cake, and it's kind of like a poke cake. So what we'll do is, once the cake is baked and cooled, then we will poke holes in it with a fork, make a milk mixture, and pour that over top. And it's called Tres Leches because it's 3 milks. So we're going to be using 3 different milks. We're going to be using sweetened condensed milk. We're going to be using evaporated milk, and we're going to be using whole milk. Okay, we're gonna just leave that like that, because like I said, we don't want to overmix it. And now we're gonna move on to our egg whites. We're going to beat the egg whites until they are stiff. And we're gonna gradually add in that sugar. We don't want to do it all at once because we don't want to deflate them. So we're going to do it gradually. I just put the whisk attachment onto my hand mixer, and here we go. have our gorgeous, gorgeous egg whites. So now what we're going to do is we are just going to take our egg whites. Let me just double check. And we are going to fold them into our batter. We're just going to go really, really slow and take our time, scraping the edges of the bowl, the bottom of the bowl, and folding it over and over. Then I just realized something. I was wondering why this batter was so stiff. I forgot to add the milk and the vanilla. Well, friends, I could have just screwed up this cake completely. I was like, why is this so stiff? Why is this so stiff? Because we were supposed to add 1/3 cup of milk and a teaspoon of vanilla. That's why. Uh-oh. And I would just start over again. But I don't know if I have enough eggs. So we're just going to see what happens here. And we're going to bake it. And if it doesn't look right, then we'll just have to start over again. I'll have to, actually I do have enough eggs because we did collect eggs today. So I do have enough eggs. So I just hate to throw all this away if I don't have to. So let's see if we can save it. So it just goes to show you, my friends, doesn't matter how much you cook, how little you cook, if you cook from a box or if you cook from scratch, you can still mess things up. I think I just proved that to you, didn't I? Just trying to get the lumpy cake incorporated without see. You guys put the whammy on me because so many of you commented the other day when I was making bread that I make cooking look so easy and effortless. Well, guess what? Apparently I don't. But seriously, we all make mistakes, and even the best of the best make mistakes. And if people don't admit that they make mistakes, well, I don't know. I do. I make mistakes all the time. I admit it. I think I said in my weekend vlog, not perfect. You know I'm not perfect. You saw my dining room drawers. Okay, that is good. We still have a lot of the fluff, a lot of the height. So I think, you know what, we're going to bake it and we're going to see what happens. So let's put it into our pan here. And it is an ungreased pan, which kind of surprised me. Just since there's no fat in the batter, it surprised me. But if I remember correctly, I haven't made one in a long time. I think angel food cakes that have no fat in them are also in an ungreased pan. Okay, so it says to just spread it out evenly. This is a little lumpy. But like I said, we'll try it. We'll see what happens. We should be able to tell when it comes out of the oven, I would think. But if not, we will certainly redo it because I am not going to have one of my children's birthday cakes that is not correct. Andrew was so torn. He had like 5 choices and he just did not know what he wanted, and then he finally chose this one, so I definitely want to make it right for him. Okay, there we go. We're going to pop it in the oven now at 350 degrees, probably for about 40 minutes or so. Nope, sorry, 25 to 35 minutes. Okay, there's the Tres Leches cake out of the oven. It's starting to pull away from the sides, which I think it is supposed to do. It looks good, done in the middle, so now we just let it cool completely. Now, this is where we're going to go into a little time lapse here. Not actually a time lapse. The video is going to be out of order. I want to keep the cake recipe all together. I don't want it broken up through the day, even though that is how it is going to be in real life. So I'm going to edit this video so you see the whole cake recipe. It's going to be hours before it cools and I put the milk mixture on it, but you're going to see that now. And then it's going to be actually 24 hours before I put the heavy cream on top, because I'm not going to put that on top until right before we serve it. But you're going to see that right after the milk part. So just know that I'm playing with the editing a little bit, because I think it'll just make for a smoother video. Not that my videos are smooth or professional, but I just think it'll make for a smoother video. So little girl only slept for a half hour. Thank goodness I got the cake done. So I'm going to go entertain her and try to keep her a little bit quiet, because Mr. Jack is still sleeping. Okay, our cake is cooled, so now we are going to work on the actual milk layer, the Tres Leches part. So in my bowl here, I'm just going to put in 1 can evaporated milk and 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. This is not a low-cal recipe. I believe, I have to look, I think it's 433 calories for a piece, which honestly, I don't think it's bad for a piece of cake. So we'll see. And then we've got 1/4 cup of whole milk. This is just whole raw milk, because that's the only whole milk I have. And now I should have put it in a bigger bowl, but we are just going to whisk that until we have it thoroughly combined. You really got to get in there with your whisk, because that sweet and condensed milk is super, super thick. So I'm just going to gently whisk this until it's all combined. Okay, that's all combined. When I lift up my whisk, there's no condensed milk stuck to it. So now we are going to take our cake and we are going to start poking holes in it. I'm going to use like a meat serving fork and just poke a lot of holes. Okay, we have our holes poked. Now we're just going to take our milk mixture and pour it over the top. You want to pour it not only in the middle, but you also want it to get down into the sides, all over. I'm going to take this and make sure we get it on every inch of this cake, because you definitely want it nice and soaked all the way around. Okay, that soaks in really, really quickly. So next time I will be more careful to do the outside edges here, because I did not get very much over there. So note to self, concentrate more on the edges, because the center is definitely soaked. There's a little bit more in here, I think. Okay. Now we are going to cover it and put it in the fridge for 24 hours or till we're ready to serve it. It has to sit at least an hour. The directions say the longer it can sit, the better. And it is just about 26 hours until we're going to serve this. So I think that'll be perfect. I'm going to cover it with saran. I'm going to stick it in the fridge. Then, before we serve it, I'll make up some whipped cream and top it. And you'll see that right after this, even though it is 24 hours later. Okay, shocking. I forgot to show you making the whipped cream, but I mean, it's just heavy cream whipped, you know, like with a mixer, a beater or whatever. It's 2 cups of heavy cream with 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla. And then you just spread it on the top. And then I went to sprinkle cinnamon and got a little heavy-handed, so I might have to dab that with a little cloth and get some of that off. So there it is. There's the Tres Leches cake, and I'll let you know in a future video how it was, and I will put the recipe that I used in the description box below. So it ended up just me for dinner tonight. So I still made the chicken, what's it called? Mozzarella white wine mushroom chicken or whatever. I served it over rice. It looks delicious. And I just made a little side salad because, like I said, it's just me tonight. Okay, well, that was a quiet dinner. Not really much fun eating alone. What? Oh my gosh, I have smuts all over my face. Oh my goodness, guys, real life around here. I need to get my act together, get this kitchen cleaned up and get ready for a live tonight. Denise and I are going to attempt to go live together. We've never done it before, so it should be interesting. And the minute that is over, well, I'm going to watch the baseball game. Andrew is at the baseball game. It is possible that the Phillies will clinch tonight. Oh my gosh, he's praying that happens while he's there. He has Hall of Fame club seats. Awesome, he's with his friends. What else? But once that is over, I am curling up in bed and reading. So I love this woman. Her name is Jill Winger. She used to have a YouTube channel called The Prairie Homestead, but she doesn't do YouTube anymore. She does have a podcast called Old Fashioned on Purpose, and she's all over Instagram. She is amazing. She is amazing. And I just love her to death. And Doug pre-ordered her book for me for my birthday, and it just launched today, so I just got it in the mail. I just can't wait to sit and read it. I am so excited. Yesterday on her podcast, she read the foreword, and it just excited me so much to read it. So much. It is 100% up my alley, so I'm going to do that. But if I do anything else tonight, I will come back on. And if not, I will at least just come back on and say goodbye. I am... looking to see what this other Amazon package is, and it's not mine. Anyway, I'll be back. Well, my friends, what a day. Didn't turn out quite as I had planned. I planned to film a lot more, but life. If you were able to join tonight, which would have been Tuesday night, for the live with me and Denise from Dish with D, it was so much fun, and we definitely plan on doing that again now that YouTube has this really cool algorithm to be able to have 2 people on a live. So it was a lot of fun. Kim and I are already talking about doing it, and Denise is going to have a whole bunch of guests, so that'll be really cool. But right now, I am calling it a night. I'm going to go upstairs, finish watching the Phillies game. It's a nail biter. Extra innings. Shocking. And that's it. Wait for Andrew to get home from the game. Wait for Doug to get home from school. Tomorrow is Andrew's birthday. My baby's going to be 24. Oh my gosh. I can close my eyes and it was like yesterday. So crazy. I will let you know how that Tres Leches cake comes out. And I don't know. We'll see. So I will see you all in my next video.